Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. Well, today we have a couple of balance changes. As you guys know though, there is a pretty big gap in between of the summer update and the next update. This is due to Supercell jumping into the summer holidays always, which is like giving a pretty big hole with nothing is really happening. This is the reason why the balance update is just dropped now, because I guess everyone is coming back from their holidays and we are getting some nice changes. So we're going to talk about all of those today in the video. I'm going to show you guys which changes are going to happen, how they're going to affect you as a player, base building, meta, competitive play, and so on. So let's get started with the first change. The first change actually I think is not going to affect the majority of my viewers, because I think most of you already are kind of high in the Town Hall levels, but the same time around for Town Hall 9 is going to be a change. What does this mean? Well, Supercell is buffing the dragons on Town Hall 9. It is 100 HP more, which is not too much, but it's a small buff at the end of the day. And the reason for this is that Supercell wants to make the transition from Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 9 a little bit easier. Why is that the case? Well, dragons are really powerful on Town Hall 8, so people are using it a ton, and they want to make that they can keep using it on Town Hall 9. As easy as that. The next change is an interesting one, because the next change is going to be a buff to the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie is not really getting used that much, to be honest, and if I'm completely honest about this change, I don't think it's going to change anything, because they are buffing the hit points of the Valkyrie from 1850 to 1900, which is like a 50 HP buff. It's not a lot, to be honest, and I think the biggest problem with Valkyrie is not her stats or whatever. It's all about the synergy. Like in Clash of Clans, everything works about synergy. There's not too many troops which are just working on their own. Even E-Dragons need some help from loons, for example. So there's always some sort of synergy, but there's not really anything where the Valkyrie is fitting into. Just the combination of the rage, and you are barely even hitting the warden ability with catching all of them inside. So it's not easy to use the Valkyrie, and this buff is only for Town Hall 14 level of Valkyrie. But still, I don't think. I think the best thing that they can do to the Valkyrie is just a huge rework and just rethinking how the troops should work. Because I feel like I said, the synergies with other troops are just lacking. Like we have P.E.K.K.A. healers, we have Hawk Riders and miners, we have a lot of different combinations which are really strong. But on the other side, Valkyrie, I don't know, maybe you guys can name me a good synergy with the Valkyrie, with something in Clash of Clans, but I feel like it's not really existing. The next thing though is going to be a huge change, and the Seeking Air Mines are getting a huge buff. This right now, which you can see, is before the update. And we can always see this chase inside the tornado trap where the Black Mine is just not catching up. And finally, Supercell listened to that feedback of the community and made the Black Mine faster. So you can see it now in this example, which is after the update, and you can see the Black Mine is hitting right away. This is going to make blimp baits way easier for base builders, which I think is a good thing overall. It makes the combination of a Black Mine and the NATO way stronger as well, because now the NATO is not making the blimp pretty much invincible against the Black Mine, because it takes so long. The next thing though, since yes, it could still happen, the best thing which you can do is make sure that the NATO is rotating the blimp into the Black Mine. This is giving you the best chance of actually having this quick connection in between of the Black Mine and the blimp, and it's giving you the best possibility of getting this blimp out of the air as quick as possible. That's the change for the Black Mine. I think it's going to have a huge impact. I think it's a really, really good change. I love the change to the Black Mine. That it's just traveling a little bit quicker, and I think it's going to be a pretty big impact on the competitive scene as well. The next thing is going to be an interesting change, because it's a mechanic which is affecting every single Town Hall level where an X-Bow is involved. Because X-Bows are going to be changed just a little bit, because the air X-Bows are getting some love. So far, the tiles, the difference in between of a ground and an air X-Bow were 3 tiles. So for everyone who did not know, the only difference between of an X-Bow on ground, X-Bow on air is the range. It's not like anything damage-wise, it's just the range. And the range of the air X-Bow is going to be buffed. 0.5 tiles, but at the same time, it is something, right? So the difference is going to be reduced from 3 tiles in between of air and ground expo to 2.5, which might be already an impact. So really looking forward to see how this is going to affect the meta. Like, what is going to be then the new setup? Like, do we see way more air expos, or are we just going to see those ground expos to remain? This is going to be interesting to see. I think it's a good idea to just nerf air overall, just this little bit. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to have a huge impact, but at the same time, why not? And with this, I already talked about it, air. Well, even though this was just the last balance change, and this means there is no change to air except that, I want to talk about why this might be the case. Because a lot of people are saying Dragonriders are OP, air in general is OP, but you have to consider that in hit rate, for example. Like, hit rate wise, yes, air is strong, but not like out of hand or anything. At the same time, a lot of people are arguing, well, we are only seeing air attacks at the moment. Well, if you think back on Town Hall 13, for example, or even below, we mainly saw ground attacks. So everything what those ground attackers are now experiencing right now, this was the feeling what every single air attacker had before the update. And this is something where I think just having a couple of months on air meta, why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing overall? So this makes it really interesting because I think it's just a cool mix. Like, before that, the only really viable air strategy was Lalo. And, well, now we have something else as well with the dragons and everything. Yes, it's annoying to defend, and I agree on that, but still, give it a couple of months of power, and then later on, obviously in the next update, where it's going to be most likely the case that there's some ground level adding to the game as well, which is pure speculation right now on my part, by the way. Just want to highlight that it's really only speculation, but taking the look at what Supercell did so far, like Tunnel 14 upgrade wise, we saw the Tunnel 14 drop, not too many levels for different troops, and then we saw another update drop with pretty much every single air troop getting another level. The next update might be the ground update, and then everything is getting back to normal, and the air attackers have to suffer again. So this is pretty much it, how it's looking like. And then obviously we have one specific troop where a lot of people are complaining about, and that's the Dragonriders. And there are two big arguments of most of the people who are saying Dragonrider needs to be nerfed. Well, first off, I think the majority thinks that Dragonrider needs to be nerfed because there are a lot of other clickbait YouTubers out there who are just saying this broke the game, that broke the game, this broke the game, oh, and that broke the game as well. And I think, well, if you listen to those, everything needs to be nerfed, right? But the majority of those people use the Dragonriders as an example of this thing is broken. But to be honest, if you rethink that, why is it actually broken? Like, ask the question yourself, why do you think the Dragonrider is broken? Is there any reason behind it? Is the hit rate too high? I don't know. I don't see the hit rates being too high with Dragonriders being involved. And if you argue that that's too high, well, the majority of the time it's having the average hit rates of most of the qualifiers, for example. The first qualifier where the Dragonrider was involved with the Queen Charge, it had even below 50% hit rate. In the second qualifier after the update with the Dragonriders, it has at least like a 61% hit rate, which was round about the average of the hit rates overall. So not out of hand or whatsoever. Yes, strong indeed, but not broken, to be honest, like a lot of people are saying. The next thing is a lot of people are saying you can use Dragonriders in every single army composition. Well, that is true because the synergy, which if you compare it to a Valkyrie, is just way better. It's synergizing with a lot of different strategies, which I personally think is a good thing. I mean, that's what a new troop should do, and that's what a new troop should add to the game. But based on this argument, you can say that healers are OP, warbreakers are OP, loons are OP, because loons are getting used in so many different army compositions. Coco loons, you're using it as a Lalo force maybe, you're using it with the dragons, with electro dragons, with everything. Nearly in every army composition, there is a loon inside the army composition. So I really think it's just due to some YouTubers really pushing it out there that the specific troop is broken. So as I said, rethink and get your own opinion about that, because I feel like hit rate wise, which is one of the arguments, is not really the case. And the other thing is that is getting used always not really the case either, because if you're using this argument, a ton of troops needs to be nerfed. So overall, I think really interesting balance changes. I think it was good that not too many things got changed, because I think it's healthy for the game. If no players can 3-star, and at the same time competitive players, for example, get pretty, I think, decent results as well, with like 13 stars on average, maybe 12 stars sometimes. For Clash Masters, the quarterfinals was 12.5 stars on average, so nothing out of hand in my opinion. Either way, let me know what you think about all of this. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next one. Until then, see ya and bye bye.